We finally made it to Caravan Reebok. So, just past this wall is the desert. Oh, wow. Paimon remembers hearing people call this the Wall of Samiel. It's made to block sandstorms from the outside. Oh, if it's this tall...
Enough gawking. Come on, follow me.
Huh?
Over here.
Oh, Haytham went that way! Let's hurry up and follow him. Wonder what he's up to.
Travelers and visitors, don't miss out!
What the... Where did she go? How did we lose it?
More Eremite mercenaries? Who are they working for this time?
You were too careless. You should have noticed those hopeless amateurs trailing you a long time ago. There's no need to thank me. I've never cared to keep track of personal favors. All I did was correct a mistake I happened to come across. It's a habit I developed at the academia.
You really gave Paimon a scare, Al-Haytham. We never thought we'd run into you here. Last time we met at Port Ormos, didn't you say you were going back to the academia?
Oh, so you've already landed yourselves on the academia's hit list. I can't say that I didn't expect it. However, had I wished to turn you over to the academia, don't you think you'd already be the Eremites' honored guests by now?
Oh, right. You do have...
I have no interest in running errands for that project. As a scholar, I've always belonged to the camp that promotes researcher autonomy. And these days, you're more fascinating than anything the sages can offer. Not quite. To tell you the truth, I'm still investigating the Everyone says the capsule originated in the desert and was eventually moved to Port Ormos. If I am to get to the bottom of this, I must understand how the capsule first came to be. Which brings me back to you, and why you're so interesting. The leader of Ain al-Ahmar used the Divine Knowledge Capsule right in front of you, and upon seeing him, your expression became perplexed. And to have that kind of reaction, I think you must have realized something.
Al-Haytham, you really have a ridiculous eye...
So that's your answer. Well, I do, but that does prove you do have some undisclosed information about the Divine Knowledge Capsule. No matter. Rather than simply learning the answers from you,
That's right! We have the same plan as you! But we don't really have...
Then I'd suggest starting with Aru Village. It's the largest settlement in the desert, so it'll probably have more resources and intel than anywhere else.
It's always better to travel with someone you know. Let's go!
I should start preparing for the next on-site investigation.
Those memories. So dark.
Travelers and visitors, don't miss out!
Before us lies Aru Village, the safe haven of the desert folk.
Whoa, this landscape is really something else. What a cool place! Let's go check it out!
Sino. Unless my memory fails me, we have barely spoken 2 words to each other before now at the Academia. Would you care to enlighten me as to when and how I invited the General Mahamatra's wrath?
Oh, Hatham. Do not think you can escape my judgment just because you managed to escape my attack.
Judgment? So that's how you'd characterize your actions here, is it? Or would elimination perhaps be a more accurate description?
Had I used my full strength, not even this traveler would have been able to stop me. Though styled like an assassination, I sought only to ensure that my target would be unable to flee or resist. Standard practice for the Matra as well.
Seemed to me more like your own personal touch.
Who is that, Al-Hatham? Did you call him General Mah?
Yes. General Mahamatra Sino, head of all the Matra at the Academia. He's a formidable hunter, and the ultimate nightmare for any who have committed academic crimes.
You seem to have placed a lot of trust in Al-Hatham, to the point of blocking an attack for him. If I were you, I'd never choose to side with him. I wouldn't believe a single word that comes out of his mouth. I have been pursuing this scribe for a long time. I urge you, stand back and do not seek to defend him any longer.
Has Al-Hatham done something wrong? Paimon doesn't think he's as bad as...
I won't waste my breath explaining things. Al-Hatham, I saw it during our fight. Take it out. The divine knowledge capsule you're hiding on your person. Unless you...
Very perceptive of you. Nothing escapes a Matra.
Wait, the divine knowledge capsule? Didn't it fall into the Matra's hands in Port Ormos?
No wonder you speak with such confidence, Sino. But I must admit, I'm very curious. What does this capsule mean to you? And why, as General Mahamatra of the Academia, are you all alone in the desert? As far as I'm aware, the other Matra have been speculating about your disappearance. Have you been given a mission that's... If I was the real target of your mission, what was stopping you from simply using your authority and resources to judge me within the walls of...
I should have known you'd be difficult to deal with.
You two! Ugh! What should we do, Traveler? Paimon feels like we can't trust either of them!
Well, look at you two, acting all tough and self-righteous over there.
Wait, Dia? Great! Finally, someone that we can trust! You gotta help us out here. Otherwise, these two are gonna start fighting again!
Yeah, sure looks that way. 2 giants from the Academia duking it out once and for all. Not something you get to see every day, that's for sure. Listen, I know you academic types love to fill up your big brains with self-righteous morality and lord your empty rules and virtues over each other. But how dare you bring your petty disputes into the safe haven of Aru Village? It seems like someone's gonna have to beat some sense into your thick skulls until you finally learn to respect these grounds. Hey, did either of you hear a word I just said?
Whoa, what's going on? Which...
Another sandstorm? What's up with these recently?
Hey! All of you, over here, quickly! We have to take cover!
Someone's calling for us! Oh, this...
That sounded like Candace. Come on, you two. Jeez, are all of you academia folks such hard work? Move it!
All right, stop yelling.
Well, this is pretty... Hey, wanna play sardines with 3 people who wanna tear each other limb from limb? Sure, why not? Sounds fun. The air is so thick and heavy. Paimon can hardly keep floating anymore.
My sincere apologies, everyone. This is the home of our village chief. I will have to ask you to make do with this small room until the sandstorm dies down. Please, let me introduce myself. I am Candace, protector of Aru village.
Our savior has come out. Nice to meet you, Candace. The name's Paimon. Thank you so much.
There's no need to thank me. It's only right to help each other when the weather gets rough.
Wow, she's so gentle and caring, like a nice older sister.
All right, now that we're all better acquainted, we should return to the topic at hand. As a guardian charged with the responsibility to protect my fellow villagers from harm, I was observing your conflict from afar, even before the sandstorm started. And now that you have set foot within our village itself, it is all the more my responsibility to make absolutely sure that you pose no... So please, have an honest and sincere conversation with one another, and put your hostile feelings to rest. If anyone dares to start anything again while they are under this roof, I will not hesitate to send them out for some quality time with the creatures of the sandstorm.
Oh, on second thought, Paimon may have missed...
And that goes for you too, Miss Dia. Do I make myself clear?
All right, we got it, Candace.
That's what I like to hear. So,
I was supposed to be a mediator, but I might have gotten a little too involved just now. Anyway, one of the...
Wait, that was you trying to be a mediator?
I have nothing to hide, so there's no shame in explaining myself. While Al-Haytham wasn't wrong about the other Matra not knowing my whereabouts, it's not because I've been assigned a morally dubious mission. Rather, I've chosen to exile myself.
Huh?
A little while ago, I discovered that there was data missing in the Academia's project planning and development file. As General Mahamatra, I had the responsibility and authority to request an audit. However, to my surprise, I tried to investigate the issue myself before submitting a formal audit request. But I soon found that all leads and potential pieces of incriminating evidence, I began to realize that they were cautious of me from the very beginning. Unsurprisingly, the Grand Sage rejected my audit request as soon as the submission. The power of the General Mahamatra is granted by the sages. You have no right to judge us.
So they really are up to no good.
I realized then that to the Grand Sage, the Matra are nothing more than tools for the sages. The vows that we took, the principles that we strive to uphold, they are meaningless to the Academia. I believed it would be wise to flee the Academia before the sages had a chance to take action against me. I will never give up on this investigation. There's no need for someone else to give me power or authority.
Sino seems to have the same goal as us. We're all investigating the sages. Plus, now that he's no longer the General Mahamatra, he's somehow, well, Sino, if that's your story.
When I was investigating the matter in the academia, I overheard a conversation, but the sages asked you to investigate a blonde-haired traveler. Do you dispute this, Alhaith?
What?
Like many parts of the project, this assignment was undocumented. Now throw in your suspicious behavior.
Yes. I was indeed tasked with investigating.
I'll hate them!
After all, the promised reward was so great that hardly any scholar could have refused. The sage told me.
A most enticing offer.
Unfortunately, those academics don't know me at all. Their words contained one key piece of information. Namely, that divine knowledge indeed exists. From my perspective, the sages are far from trustworthy. Think about it. Isn't it a little strange they're So, I began my own investigation following the lead of the divine knowledge capsule. In the end, I realized my wisdom in committing to this rather than collaborating with. Had I been less guarded, I probably would have ended up like that Ain al-Ahmar mercenary.
You mean that the sages originally planned to dispose of you, using one of those capsules that drive people insane?
I'd already given up on the assignment by then. I only told the academia I was waiting in Port Ormos for you to, so it came as quite a surprise when I encountered my erstwhile.
Criminals do love to talk about coincidences.
Even though I ran into the traveler by chance, I had no intention of providing assistance to the academia. You were the ones who decided to follow me and strike up a conversation after I left that tavern.
That's true. Alhaitham helped us out at Caravan.
I'm willing to apologize, if that's worth anything. I took the divine knowledge capsule behind your back because I judged its existence to be a significant risk. After all, curiosity often proves to be the most...
You should be well aware, Scribe Alhaitham, that curiosity... Answer me this. Did the sages share any information about their project with...
Have I not made myself clear? You and I are both distrusted by the academia. Do you really?
Fine. Although you haven't completely proven your...
As you wish.
Good. I'm glad to see you two clearing up your misunderstandings. And now you, Dia. I believe it's your turn.
Oh, sorry. Whatever the boys were talking about must have been so boring that I spaced. My situation is pretty straightforward. My employer, Dunyarzad of the Homayani family, is friend. I had nothing going on, so I decided to return to Aru village for a visit. I was actually looking forward to a pretty exciting time getting back together with everyone here. But then I saw these two random guys in the middle of a pointless argument.
Is that all? Well, I will admit that definitely sounds like your style.
That's more like it. I missed you all so much, Candace.
Whoa! What was that sound?
No need to worry. Now that you're no longer at each other's throats, please make yourselves at home.
Creatures? In the
Fighting in a sandstorm is not for the faint-hearted. Anyone without extensive training in these conditions...
Yeah, just leave them to Candace. Don't worry, she's as tough as they come.
The wind's died down. That means the sandstorm's over, right? Candace still isn't back yet,
When you put it that way, even I'm starting to feel a little...
Yes. They just keep coming in waves. I've lost count of how many I've defeated.
Leave this round to us. I got interrupted.
It's been quite a while since I've seen the flame.
I'll be sure to put on a good show. Let's go! There is no escape!
Too late for regrets.
Torn to oblivion!
Here comes another wave. When are they ever gonna let up?
Foreign, disappear!
The creature stopped appearing.
What we fought just now was probably the aftermath.
Well fought, everyone. No injuries, I hope.
Huh? Who are you?
Ah, my apologies. I haven't had a chance to greet you yet. I am the chief of Aru village. Everyone usually...
Sir, I am also originally from the desert, but I have not been back for some time now. May I ask if such sandstorms are common?
I can't say they've always been common, but besides sandstorms, we also occasionally get earthquakes. According to an investigator who stayed in the village a while ago...
Another effect. So, Irminsul's withering causes withering zones in the...
Everything in the natural world is inextricably connected to Irminsul.
Everyone in Aru village needs to... speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single...
Village keeper? Who are they?
Does your curiosity know no bounds? Village Keeper is how Aru village refers to mad scholars exiled here by the academia. Most of them are scholars who lost their sanity. The academia believes that their crazed mutterings may have a negative effect on the...
Alas, that's exactly what we've been trying, but no one in the village has ever...
I've had encounters with those people in the past.
The Matra are the ones responsible for their exile. Now that you're no longer with them, are you trying to alleviate your guilt and atone for your past sins?
Mock me if you will, but if you are guilty, I will eliminate you.
Oh, you're the former General Mahamatra. You must be an expert in these kinds of investigations.
Is it because you're reminded of Hypatia? Oh, but, is it really a good idea to tag along with Sino?
I'll be grateful for the assistance. No doubt you will do a better job than some of my former subordinates. Let's start by finding a spot to share what we know so far. Although I've sent myself into exile, I'm still doing essentially the same things as before. Do you still have any questions for me before we start our investigation? One of my former subordinates told me that the academia has long exiled mad scholars to Aru village. When mad scholars first arrive, they are as incoherent and deranged initially. The people of Aru village Aru village was struck by the strongest. Suddenly, he noticed a mad scholar crouching in a corner, caressing the ground with his hands, despite the powerful tremors that ripped through the ground that night. After that, the people of Aru village treated the mad...
A soft green light? A mad scholar? Paimon thinks so too. Actually, Sino...
In theory, they would continue wearing them so the academia could still monitor their activity.
Oh, no wonder! Everything makes sense then! Add in the fact that they call...
If you are able to draw a conclusion from this one story alone... So, what do you make of the story? Really? Lesser Lord Kusanali.
What? You don't believe us? Lesser Lord Kusanali was definitely...
No, it's not so much that I don't believe you. Lesser Lord Kusanali, the current Dendro Archon. The Academia has always placed far greater importance on the late Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. They've more or less... In addition, I've never heard any stories about Lesser Lord...
No way! Nahida definitely exists! She's a... How should Paimon put it? She's a good Archon who's kind and wise.
I've spent many years interrogating criminals, so I...
Good! Then you should know that we're telling...
That look in your eyes. I've never seen that from a liar. You two really must have met Lesser Lord Kus... How can this be? To think. Our Archon has been amongst us this entire time.
Alright, now it's our turn to put our skills to good use for this but easier said than done. Especially since we...
Excuse me, are you here to help me find...
Huh? Who are you?
By the sounds of it, a resident of this village.
My name is Isak.
Is your grandpa a mad scholar?
Hey, don't say that. Grandpa is just Grandpa.
The person you're referring to is not a local.
Grandpa is just Grandpa. I heard everything you said to the village chief. Please.
Ah, so you're the one who was eavesdropping on us. I was planning to go out and take care of whoever it was.
Whoa. Hazen wasn't kidding about Matra having sharp senses. Simon...
Sorry, I was only...
All right. But first...
Sino is super vigilant. Is this what all the Matra are like?
Ah, you're back already.
We just wanted to confirm something with you.
I had a feeling he'd go looking for...
Huh? You knew this would happen?
Yes. Although he tried his best to stay hidden, I still noticed him eavesdrop. Isak's parents were both Aramite mercenaries who rarely returned to the village after finding employment in the... Unfortunately, it was only a few years before his grandpa passed away. Isak was still very young at the time. Later, an elderly mad scholar arrived at the village. However, the scholar was unkempt in appearance and incoherent in speech. One summer night, the oft mumbling and bumbling Grandpa suddenly calmed. So Grandpa walked up to Isak and patted him on the head. He even took... The next morning, Isak woke up and wanted to go find his grandpa again. Only to... It's said that those who saw the scholar claimed he no longer appeared to be crazy. Isak was thrilled that his grandpa was able to find...
All this somehow just makes Paimon feel really sick.
Perhaps. Nearly everyone who lives in the... It's also my reason for fighting. I must continue to protect this land.
Maybe the people have always had a considerate god watching over them.
Huh? What did you say, Sino?
No, nothing. As long as Isak keeps his word...
Perhaps you are more compassionate than I gave you credit for. Please accept my thanks on Isak's behalf, Sino.
张开，张开，张开，追逐梦想的翅膀，在梦想的天地中尽情翱翔。张开，张开，张开，追逐梦想的翅膀，在有情的世界中绽放着光。过去寂寞路上，黑夜没有月光，一个人偶尔会迷失方向。现在有你作伴，给我新的勇敢，不再一个人的孤单去流浪。让勇气在战斗之中释放，让信任在经历之中成长。在你我的身上，是一致的力量，化作追逐梦想的翅膀。张开，张开，张开，追逐。